Please welcome this week's special guest, Georgia. So, let's start with Gabby. What is Georgia to you?
This is Georgia, and when she fell down a manhole, I was unable to help her because I couldn't stop laughing.
Right, so, Romesh, how do you know Georgia?
This is Georgia. I have an irrational fear of sock puppets, and last year I had to leave a children's party when she put one on.
Right. And finally, Lee, what's your relationship with Georgia?
This is Georgia. After spending a weekend at her hotel, I drove home only to find her cat asleep in the boot of my car.
So there we have it. Gabby's mate in a manhole, Romesh's sock scarer, or Lee's lost cat lady. David's team, where do you want to start?
So, Gabby, what were the circumstances of Georgia's accident?
We had been shopping.
To your friends?
Yes.
How do you know each other?
She used to be my next-door neighbour.
So how old were you when this happened, the manhole incident?
About 13.
And describe the mishap, if you can keep a straight face.
We'd been shopping, and the bus was coming, and I said, run for the bus, and then I heard a scream, and suddenly I realised that she'd fallen down a manhole.
You see, that to me, that would have really hurt.
I think if you're running, you don't fall vertically down a small opening.
Well, she's only
real
little.
life. She's still able to run with a big enough stride to not fall directly down a manhole.
But what if you had, like, a titchy strider doing it?
So, she got out, and what was the extent of her injuries?
How bad is this story? She only started walking 6 months ago.
She had a very bad...
Chin.
Oh, chin? She'd broken her fall with her chin.
She wasn't even touching the floor. Just resting on the chin. So you go, what's up? I can't speak because I'm full.
The key question now is what Jack alluded to, is that if you're running along, you've got forward momentum.
Yes.
And only one foot will be where the manhole is,
Yeah, but
not
that
both
tallies with what she's saying, because one foot we're going, you go forward and chin.
No, it's not very. They're not very wide manholes, because manholes are about, you know, only, you know. To go down it like that, you'd have to be aiming for it, wouldn't you? You'd have to be doing run, jump, legs together. Right, Ramesh, you have a fear of sock puppets.
Yeah, I do, yeah.
OK, I believe you. Why?
It's this. I find that like a snake.
At any point, they can just turn towards you.
Yeah. You know, it's the unpredictability of it. You know, like, it's not fun.
No.
You know, they've got the sock puppet there, then you're sitting down, they go, that's not funny, that's terrifying. It's horrible.
And what was the occasion with Georgia? What?
Well, I don't actually know Georgia that well. What happened was that I was going to a kid's birthday party with my children.
OK.
And the problem that we have is that our oldest child is very, you know, sort of chilled out and he just has a nice time. The second one is, well, he's not. And so we arrived at the party and just sort of his behaviour was unacceptable. He was shoving kids and it was sort of getting pretty embarrassing and we were trying to control it. And so basically she saw that there was an emergency situation. I sort of wandered over and she was reaching into her pocket to pull out what I hoped was a gun. But it turned out to be the sock puppet. And she put the sock puppet on and then, here he comes again, hello.
She says a lot of it's unpredictable. It's not unpredictable.
Yeah, but you don't know
you
don't know what the puppeteer might do, what they might think is
Well,
funny.
they're either going to do that or that.
Yeah.
No, but they can do that.
Yeah,
attack.
But it's not the sock is not what enables them to do that. In many ways, any human might suddenly do that to you. That's the risk we live with whenever we interact.
I'm not... Is that what you're thinking when you're chatting?
Yeah,
Wasn't that strange look you give me when we're having a drink afterwards when you've got that constant...
I always think with couple of yards, so if you suddenly do that, then get away.
So how did you react, Romesh?
I just sort of grabbed my son and I went, I'll get him, I'll sort him out, don't worry, thank you, ha ha ha. And just tried to not look. And then I just sort of ran out of the party into the back garden.
Right. She's not going to come after you with the sock.
No, if she'd have come out to the garden with like this,
Yeah.
I would have just knocked her out. Like this.
So, Lee, cat in car post hotel, I've written down.
That's her name, yeah?
Yeah.
What kind of cat was it, Lee?
Oh, it's a black one.
Oh, yeah.
What kind of hotel?
Red.
What kind of car?
Blue.
He was there for the weekend.
I'd taken my wife away for a weekend in a boutique hotel in the New Forest. The Old Forest wasn't doing it for me.
Right. Had you got home when you discovered the cat?
Yes, I'd got home and I opened up the boot to let the wife out. No. I'd opened up the boot to get the luggage out.
And there was a flattened cat.
No. What had happened is I opened up the boot of the car. I'd gone into the hotel because I put my bag in, but my wife was chatting away to someone. I was trying to get her away. I said, come on, we should probably drift off now. That's when the cat had jumped in.
And you drove back home.
Drove back home.
No incident, no sound of purring or yowling that you couldn't attribute to your wife.
Yeah, no, they're a bit rude, David. And shame, mate, let yourself down. Still doing all that old school comedy, I think. And we hadn't heard anything. We had the radio playing quite loudly, and we all know that the sound of Spandau Ballet is a lot louder than...
And you remembered when you saw the cat in the car, that's the cat from the hotel?
Yeah, I mean, a jet black cat in a hotel. You don't see a lot of cats in hotels anyway, do you?
No, you don't anymore, because you take them home in your car. Did you just drive them straight back?
I immediately rang the hotel and said the bacon's a bit burnt, but whatever. I've got your cat. And she said, "Bombing egg, all right, next time I won't cook it so much." I went, "No, it's not a threat, I'm just letting you know I've got your cat." That was just an aside. I'm not going to start sending you, like, an ear and then a paw. I mean, you're getting the cat back. Well, eventually.
Okay.
But no, so I said, you know, why don't we meet halfway? We'll meet at a service station and I will give you the cat.
So, David's team, we need an answer. Is Georgia Gabby's mate in a manhole, Romesh's sock scarer, or Lee's lost cat lady?
Any initial instincts?
Feels like none of them know Georgia.
I'm not buying it about the sock puppets, although it is definitely possible.
The problem that we have here is that not all of you are telling the truth.
That is true.
I think Gabby knows Georgia. That's my instinct.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we're going manhole?
Yeah.
Manhole?
Let's call her Gabby.
Gabby, please.
Far ruder than I ever intended it to be. I'm so sorry. That was just... If I thought that through, I would never have said that.
So, we're saying that it's Gabby, it's the
telling the
manhole.
truth.
OK,
Yeah.
Georgia, would you please reveal your true identity?
My name is Georgia. I'm friend of Gabby, and I fell down the manhole.
Yes, Georgia is Gabby's fallen friend. Thank you very much, Georgia. Thank you.